Yes.
We're live. We did it. Hey, everyone. I am so excited to be here today. We have a very special holiday edition of our LinkedIn Live. I am Ashley Bernardi, the CEO of Nardi Media. I'm feeling extra festive today, hence the sweater. And I couldn't think of a better way to spread some holiday cheer. And right after this, I am headed to my youngest daughter's class holiday party. So what a wonderful time. And I am joined with my dear friend, the wonderful Dr. Kimberly Horn. She is an expert in understanding how we connect with one another. And she's also author of the incredible new book, Friends Matter for Life. And today we're going to be talking all about kindness. It's not just a nice thing to do. Dr. Kimberly says it's something powerful that can change lives and communities. Dr. Kimberly, thank you so much for joining us for this special holiday edition.
Ashley, thank you. I can't think of a better way to spend my morning.
I feel the same way. And for those of you who are watching us, ask questions. We're going to be here for the next 15, 20 minutes or so talking all about kindness. So Dr. Kimberly, I want to get started with, you've really dedicated your life to helping people build healthier, more connected lives. What inspired you to specifically focus on kindness, and why is it so important right now?
Yeah, I truly believe that kindness has transformative power. And especially in our world today where there's so much division and tension and divide, kindness is, I think, a lifeline that helps show us what we're capable of.
And what does it mean to be kind, right? Like, how would you define it? Because my sense is that it's more than just doing nice things for others. But tell us about what it means to you.
Well, I think it's about showing up with care and compassion and concern for others. I mean, sometimes it's just simple, small acts and gestures. I mean, of course, there can be grand gestures, but really kindness is what we incorporate into our day-to-day lives. It's the small things, and for me, it's a mindset. A choice.
Yeah.
Choice.
Yeah. And you've also said it's a way that we can stand up to negativity. And we see a lot of negativity everywhere. What does it mean? Like, can you give us an example of how we can use kindness to stand up to negativity in our lives?
So I've been talking a bit about kindness as resistance. And I think in today's society, we are faced, especially right now, with a lot of tension and divide and conflict. And I see kindness as a way that we stand up to those things that are adverse in the world. And we can do that with kindness. We can do that without compromising our values or what we believe in. It's a way to even if you don't agree with someone, just to say, I see you and I value you as a human being.
I feel like it's a basic core human need is to just feel valued as a human, to feel like they are being heard. And I do feel like we live in a time where people aren't feeling heard. And maybe that's where the fighting, the negativity comes in. But what happens with kindness? Like, what can it do for your well-being or for others' well-being? Like, how can it help us?
Well, I mean, when you think about when you do something kind for someone, I mean, kindness is action. And when you do something kind for someone, I mean, you get those feel-good hormones going on, and that's healthy for us all the way around. It's good for our immune system, it's good for our mood, and it's good for the recipient of your kindness.
I want to touch on more about kindness as resistance, which I like. Can we get a t-shirt that says that, please? Like, I think that's going to be something that we're going to need to put together for the new year. And I think in 2025, we're coming out of I mean, 5 years since COVID started, and very divided, heated election year with now a transition of power. Talk
Mhm.
to me more about kindness as resistance and how we can implement that in our daily lives as we enter the new year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that kindness opens the door for dialogue, and it's, in with the division that we're facing in our society right now, I think that kindness is a pathway to dialogue, to
Mm,
conversation, and to, listening without judgment and listening with the intent to understand. And I think it's those kind of conversations, that kind of dialogue that is necessary to heal some of our divide and division. And that doesn't mean that because you're choosing to approach someone with kindness, with respect, with concern or care, doesn't mean that you're compromising your own values.
mm.
It means that you are choosing to be in a place and space and listen and try to truly understand someone other's position.
And how can we do that? Because, like, here's an example on social media. There can be so many disagreements and infighting to the point where I'm like, oh, I don't get involved in that.
Yeah.
Is this dialogue that we can take both online and in person, and like where else? I mean, other than everywhere, but I'd love some specific examples.
Yeah, I think that long threads on social media make it more complicated to have these in-depth, nuanced conversations that are needed to happen. My preference and my recommendation would be to have those more one-off with
Mhm.
someone individually in a private chat, in a private space, on the phone, those sorts of things. Because um, I think especially with social media, things get too heated and too flared, and it's difficult sometimes to leave that situation and to protect your own mental health. So, and that's my recommendation, and I think it's very important to have these conversations. Now, you may not be ready to do that yet, and as we think about going around the holidays, and I think that's been on many of our minds as we go into the holiday season about how are we going to have these conversations? How are we going to be in space and place with people that we may have differences of opinion with?
Yeah, and difference of values.
Yes. So, I mean, what my recommendation is, one, you can choose not to have conversations if you don't want to right now. And
Mhm.
and that's fine. Enjoy other things that you have in common, other shared interests, your shared memories around the holidays, those sorts of things. You can still enjoy people and not necessarily agree with all of their social and political views. The other thing that you can choose to do, and I think that's what you were hinting at a few minutes ago, was you can choose to have a conversation
Yeah.
if you feel ready to do that. But I think it's important to set the topic of focus, to set some time boundaries, and to make sure that it's done in a safe space. And again, I don't necessarily recommend having those conversations in group settings,
Mhm.
unless everyone is on the same page with the rules and boundaries.
I think that's great. And I love what you said about time boundaries too. Like
Yeah.
that like makes me feel safe. Like if I have to, we're
Mhm.
gonna go for 10 minutes and then it's good. So I love that.
Yeah,
I've learned a lot about boundaries in my later years. So that's
we all need them.
yeah, yeah, it's a great piece of advice. So, the holiday season especially, it's so crazy, like I feel like we're all rushing everywhere, getting the gifts. I'm running to a holiday party. What are some simple ways that we can make kindness a part of our daily lives even when things feel hectic?
Yeah, I mean, some of it seems common sense, right? I mean, kindness doesn't come easy for everyone,
Yeah.
but it can be learned, and it is a skill, and it does require practice. So, I think some of it's just being aware of people around you and how you're interacting with people around you, and to find those opportunities where you can insert kindness. Maybe it's just smiling at a stranger.
Mhm.
Maybe it's giving someone really good eye contact when you're speaking with them and nodding affirmatively to what they're saying. Maybe it's you see someone having struggling with getting their groceries to the car or into the car, then you stop and help them. It's just small little things throughout the day. There are opportunities for kindness all around us, all the time.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Like we forget that. And it's like step 1 really is the awareness that there are opportunities
Yeah.
at any moment of the day. And I also, it's like one, being kind to yourself, being kind to others, to your animals, to nature. I mean, they're like turn anywhere and there's an opportunity. um I also want to talk about even the smallest acts of kindness.
Yeah.
So, like, here's an example. I can give like two, but I have a 14-year-old daughter, and she's amazing. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, teenagers so hard." No, I got really lucky. But there was one day a couple weeks ago, she gave me this thank you card out of nowhere. And she made it herself, just thanking me for just being this amazing supportive mom and how much she loves me. And I like, it brought me to tears. Like
I'm
I literally
sure.
I was like, wow. And it made my day. And it was just the smallest smallest card, but just the
Yeah.
biggest impact. Can you like talk to me about why those small acts of kindness can really matter so much?
Because we feel seen
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
valued. Someone was telling me the other day that had just had one of those days where their self-esteem was just, rock bottom. They just weren't feeling good about themselves and their body and just all of this. And they were at the grocery store, and someone behind them in line gave them a compliment.
Mm.
And the person said to me, it was the first time in a few days where I felt like someone saw me.
Oh,
I didn't feel invisible anymore, and it totally boosted my mood and, changed the rest of my day. And we never know what people are experiencing.
we don't.
I think the baseline assumption should be that most people are experiencing
That's right.
something difficult, something emotional, something troubling. And those small gestures of, a card, a text, or, text someone a photo of a memory that you had that meant so much to you, that you shared with them. Just little simple things that don't take a lot of time
Mhm.
have huge impact on people. And I really believe that most people want to be kind.
I
I
do.
truly believe that, because you think about the opposite of kindness is cruelty.
Mhm.
The mid ground is indifference or apathy or lack of concern. Now, I think that most people don't want to be cruel, and I think most people aren't cruel. I think right now, because of so much that's been happening in the world, that we are living more in indifference.
I feel that too.
And I think that people want to be kind. And I think there's a real struggle with thinking about how we can muster up the energy and the skills to put kindness into practice.
Right.
And sometimes indifference can be a healthy place for a little while, because sometimes it's a place we go to rest emotionally.
Right.
But staying there too long is not good for anyone. It's not good for the individual. It's not good for families. It's not good to communities, because I really believe that kindness, and this is part of the kindness as resistance, I really believe that kindness has a ripple effect.
Mhm.
That when we are kind and other people witness that kindness or receive that kindness, they're inspired to do the same.
That's right. And it makes me think about how kindness can truly bring us together even when we don't see
Mhm.
eye to eye.
Yeah. Even in
Right.
the hardest times, I think that kindness can stand up to cynicism and isolation and competition and self-interest.
Mhm.
I think kindness can outweigh that.
I agree. And I love that it's like it is something that it's like a muscle we can flex. The more we do it, the more it
Mhm.
becomes a habit. We get stronger at it. And that is eventually what's going to shift us from this indifference, which I
Mhm.
agree with you. I feel like it's our society's default.
Yeah.
It's indifference.
And
Um,
indifference doesn't do harm to people.
right.
I mean, like, cruelty, hatred, anger, all that can be so harmful.
Mhm.
Indifference isn't necessarily harmful, but it doesn't put positive impact into the world.
Right. And like people like you and I who are very motivated to put positive impact in the world, I love that you're saying it's a ripple effect because it's just making me think, okay, what are some more things that I can do today to show kindness to others? And how good does that feel too for the person?
Yeah.
I know the person on the receiving end, but even for the person who is showing kindness, that feels so good, like good
Mhm.
for nurturing for the soul.
It's powerful
Yeah.
and liberating.
It is, and it connects us.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's so much to be said for it, and I feel like it often gets overlooked amongst the, like,
Mhm.
hectic busyness of our
Yeah.
lives, and this is why I'm so glad we're having this conversation, especially as we head into a season of family and being together with people that we might not agree with all the time, but knowing
Mhm.
that there is like having this awareness and practicing kindness can just make our lives so much better and like enrich our lives.
And I think that we have to not see kindness as a weakness.
Right.
And and actually, I was thinking about this earlier. I think that in our society today, when we are faced with so much divide and division, that standing up in kindness is courageous,
Mhm. It is. And
right?
how what a powerful, powerful feeling,
Mhm.
and I would encourage everyone, like, this is how we can be the change. You can be the change in our world and help create that ripple effect, just by small acts of kindness. So, Dr. Kimberly, we're closing out the year. We're entering 2025. What's one
Yeah.
thing that you would like people to take away about kindness as we enter a new year?
So I think that hope and kindness go hand in hand. And when we choose the mindset of kindness, the practice of kindness, I think we reclaim our agency
Mm.
and we put light into the world. And we need more light right now.
That's the truth. Well, Dr. Kimberly, your wisdom and brilliance is always so inspiring and especially motivating for me today. And I know for those who are watching or will be watching, it's such a good reminder to just take a pause, focus on what really matters this holiday
Yeah.
season. So thank you, Dr. Kimberly. I'd love for you to share where our viewers can get more information about your incredible book.
Sure. But first, I want to say that I'm so grateful for you and that you came into my life this year. And you have just been such a gift. And I thank you.
I
And
feel
thank you for seeing me.
Yeah, I feel it's like our friendship was meant to be,
Yeah.
and, it's been the greatest gift for me as well. I am so profoundly grateful and just thank you. You're gonna be in my life forever now, so
So much more to come.
so much more to
But,
come.
any information about me you can find at drkimberlyhorn.com. There's information about the book there. The book's on Amazon or any major retailer or wherever you buy books. And please follow me on social media.
Amazing. All right, Dr. Kimberly Horn, author of Friends Matter for Life. Let's all spread a little extra kindness today.
Yeah.
It's the perfect gift. It doesn't require wrapping paper, and it can change the world. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Kimberly. Wishing everyone a wonderful, healthy, happy holiday season and a prosperous new year. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.